Welcome to Fear Babes Podcast, a paranormal podcast founded and hosted by Fear fan members.
All thoughts and opinions are strictly our own, and we are not affiliated with any shows in any way.
My name is Burgundy.
My name is Madeline.
And we are
the Fear Babes.
Hello, babes. Welcome to Fear Babes Podcast. I have gathered you all here today to ambush Madeline with an intervention. We have to have an intervention for Mads.
Oh my gosh. What? Okay, hold on. I thought we already had the intervention prior to recording.
No. That was a totally different topic. I'm talking about your addiction.
I have addiction?
You are addicted to Roblox, and we need to get you
Oh my god, you fucking asshole. How dare you bring this on the podcast, you fucking bitch. You fucking asshole!
No way you fucking did that.
Okay. Alright. First of all, let me give context to this shit. Okay?
Wait, she's about to plead her case. Like,
okay.
She's not addicted to it.
Okay, I'm okay. I may mildly have an addiction, but that's nobody's fucking business, okay? Okay, let me explain why. All right. So, this started about a year ago. As most addiction stories do. Okay. Addiction is actually very serious. Please call your local addiction hotline. Thank you. All right. So, anyway. Okay, Roblox. It's actually really fucking fun. I just fuck around on there. I don't talk to anybody. The only friend I have is now Bergie. And I just like to play imaginary games. Games where I live in a random city and there's a Roblox game where you can go back to ancient Egypt. That's fun.
Which one is that? I'm like, am I on the right thing?
I will enlighten you, sister. You just wait. We haven't had a chance to play Roblox together yet, but it is fun.
Oh my god.
But first of all, how fucking dare you? Because right before this, earlier this afternoon, you completely went ghost. I was being an adult. I was editing my portion of the podcast, and your fucking bitch ass was playing Roblox. So, excuse me.
While you were editing. While you were editing, I was at the grocery store. I was playing Roblox this morning after I woke up.
Okay. Forgive me. Forgive me.
Hey, listen,
sorry.
I only played it for not even a full 24 hours yet, so.
But you like it.
I'm confused by many things that happen in this game. What is the one character that's what are all the obstacle courses? Is it Obi? What is its name?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I've never played that game in my life.
I don't know. I've just been messing with those because the photos look interesting, and then I click in it. I'm like, this is just an obstacle course, visually. What is happening?
So the fun lies within the games where you can role play being just a regular person in a random city, and you own your own home, and you can drive around in a car and do your own thing. There's just one
girl. I'd be doing that on a daily basis in real life.
I know, but it's I can't explain it. When I was younger, I played Grand Theft Auto not for the Grand Theft Auto. I played it for just the fucking running around and stealing cars. I mean, so that is Grand Theft Auto, but that's not the point. That's not the fucking point. The point is that I love driving around. Doing
driving
stuff like
are
that.
Fun. I used to love I used to be addicted to Need for Speed.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, stuff like that
all the time.
So fun.
I should play that again, actually.
But the difference is with these games is that you can actually go into places. Whereas Grand Theft Auto and games like that, it's just buildings. But on these games, you can go into a little coffee shop. You can go ride a boat. You can go stay in a hotel. You can have your own apartment. You can have your own house. You can have a pink car, and it can be as obnoxious as you want it to. Like, it's just so fun. And then you can play Ancient Egypt, and there's actually a game on there where the Titanic is sinking and you have to get off the ship. Don't ask how I found out about that, okay? I saw a game, it was called Titanic, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a cute game. I kid you not, as soon as I got onto the server, they were playing My God Nearer Thee, or whatever that song is, and the boat was already halfway in the water, and people were like running around trying to get off. I was like, why is this a game on Roblox?
It's
like,
so random.
People actually died trying to get off the ship. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Listen, I'm trying Roblox for you, so you gotta try Prop Hunt on Call of Duty for me at some point, okay?
Okay, I think my brother has Call of Duty, so it should be fine.
I mean, worst case, like, even if we just have to play it at Mom and Don's house when you're here in 20 fucking days, we would do that.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well, by the time we release this episode, it'll be 7 days sooner.
I know, which is actually kind of insane to me.
How freaking wild.
Yeah, so I may have an addiction to Roblox, but I really don't care. Like, suck my dick. But we're definitely playing later.
Okay. Did you ever play Club Penguin?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god, I was obsessed with Club Penguin too.
I was obsessed with Build-A-Bearville.
Oh, Webkins. Webkins was also my shit.
Now, I didn't really do Webkins much, but...
Really? They had this one, like, solitaire type game that I was, like, I played it all the time.
Dude, Build-A-Bearville was fun because when you would build a bear at Build-A-Bear Workshop, it came with, like, an ID code, and then you could, like, go on Build-A-Bearville, and you could bring your furry friend into the game with you, and it was so fun. And each time you got a new furry friend, like, I had 5 total at Build-A-Bear Workshop. That was a thing. That was a time that we're not going to get into. I was obsessed with Build-A-Bear Workshop. Anyway.
Oh, I love that.
So,
that's cute.
So, but let me just preface that my parents would buy me Build-A-Bears on my birthday and at Christmas. It was like a part of my gifts, whatever. But every time you would bring your bear into like into the game, I was about to say real life. Oh my god.
Into real life.
Into Build-A-Bearville, you would literally like get a new room in your house, and like some people had like mega mansions, and it was the craziest thing. But you could like, I don't know, it was fun. You could do a whole bunch of stuff on there. The fact it doesn't exist anymore depresses me, and I just want to say, bring fucking 2000s games back, please. Yes. I beg of you.
Do you remember Neopets? Did you ever play Neopets?
I didn't, but I do remember it for sure.
Oh my gosh, I also love Neopets. What about Pop Tropica?
Yes, I remember Pop Tropica.
And all the cereal related games?
Yeah. Well, you want to know something? Pop Tropica was like the only game that wasn't blocked by my county school system.
Oh my gosh, so all of y'all were playing on it all the time?
On Pop Tropica, yeah.
That's so funny. There was one, there was like a Flintstones bobsledding game. Do you remember that game? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Why do I feel like it's like tickling a nerve in my brain, but I just can't place it?
You're like, core memory unlocked halvesies though.
Okay, but the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody game.
Yes! Oh my gosh.
And the Hannah Montana. All the Disney Channel games.
Dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hours.
The Lizzie McGuire game. Oh my gosh. Yes. Those were the days. I miss those days so much. Bring them back. Bring them back.
Back when life was simpler.
See, if I go to DisneyChannel.com right now, what's on here?
I don't know, probably nothing. They also did away with Club Penguin. Pissed about that.
Wait a motherfucking second, Burgundy Brown.
Are they still? Oh, that felt wrong. That felt weird.
Pizza Party Pickup. Zach and Cody. Let's see if I can play this real quick. If this is real, I'm sending it to you.
Oh my gosh, we're done filming the episode. We gotta go play nostalgic games. Bye. Wait, I thought they did away with Club Penguin. It still exists? I thought they were getting rid of it.
Burgundy!
Does it work?
Are you kidding me? I have legitimate tears in my eyes right now.
How come when I go to type Disney Channel and Google, the first thing that pops up is Disney Channel old games?
Burgundy, you can play it?
Really?
Yeah,
Zack and
I'm
Cody
sending
games.
this to
I
you
found
later.
it.
Oh shit, Mom! No! I got caught by my mom.
Oh, damn it. The
I'm
pizza
playing
party
Zach,
pickup? Yeah.
obviously.
And then the Zack and Cody's Tipped in Trouble. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
You gotta go like up and down the stairs.
Oh no, I got caught by Mosby. Alright, well. Okay, we're
Fuck you,
definitely playing,
Mosby.
we're
Fuck
playing those
you.
later. We are
Sick.
playing those later.
Yes, please send them to me.
Anyway.
We are fucking children, dude. We are kids.
100%.
We are grown up children. That is what we are.
Oh,
Speaking of that, I was having a little therapy sesh with my mom the other day because every day at lunchtime we talk on the phone and we just talk to each other and be like each other's little therapist for the day or whatever. I told her, I was like, you know what I decided recently? And she's like, what? And I was like, we're all just kids who experienced something that was traumatic to us as children, and now we're trying to reverse the damage that caused us in our lives as adults. We're just going through trying to figure out how to get over shit that no one ever talks about.
It's true.
Yeah.
The thing is, too, is before we get into like everything, I went a couple years like of my life. I was always scared to talk to my mom about the trauma because I didn't want her to think that it was her fault.
Yeah.
Like what had happened, but like I would say things like that and then I'd feel bad about it. It is what it is. I've had that conversation with my mom a couple of times where it's like, we just all out here having to live, man. Like for my mother, some two random ass people decided to fuck and there she is in the 70s. And then unfortunately her and my dad decided in the 90s they were bored and they wanted to be parents, and then boom, here I am. So
ta-da. Yeah.
it's awesome. Now here we are. I have to live and pay bills and be depressed and on anxiety medicine. Oh shit. Which reminds me,
Wait,
I need to take my meds real quick. Pardon.
What an interesting Fear Babes podcast episode this has been so far. God, I love her.
How dare you?
Don't tell her I said that.
Do that to me.
Guys, don't tell Mads that I love her a long time, okay?
What are you talking about?
Oh, I did say, I was like, what an interesting Fear Babes podcast episode this has been so far.
I love it. But I guess I should go ahead and say last week.
Oh, true.
We did the first part of your paranormal stories that you guys shared with us. So this week we're doing the second part. Part two. I'm really fucking excited. We have a couple more multiple parters, and I love that a lot that you guys are sharing more than just one story. So shall we get into it, or should we play more Zach and Cody?
We can either way.
Okay, let's get into it.
Oh, damn. All right, I was hoping for Zach and Cody. That was fine. Whatever. You know, like earlier, you was like, let's go back to early 2000s games. And I was like, when life was simpler before we all figured out Project Fear existed, and it's our whole fucking lives now. What? Who said that?
You want to know something? I mentioned Project Fear earlier about how they just like went to the UK and they're wrapping up their last couple of days or whatever. And my mom was like, oh my God, I totally forgot about Project Fear for the last couple of weeks. She's like,
I wish
guys-
Elizabeth East. I wish I could fucking forget about those guys.
She literally was like, have you heard anything about them or anything like here recently?
No.
I was like,
I try
honestly,
not to.
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't even thought about it because there's just been so much real life shit going on. But I thought it was funny. She asked me yesterday because I was at her house. And she was like, is Project Fear still on right now? I was like, no. But I just kind of looked at her and I was like, oh my God, guys, she's actually like turning into a Fear fan member. This is...
Oh God. Go back now. Go back now, Wendy, before it's too late.
I love it.
Yourself.
It's funny too because she's just like, she doesn't understand any of it. Like, I'll explain to her, oh yeah, we have like Dakota and like Tanner, Alex, Connor, Kalani. We've had a couple of great people on the podcast, and she was like, huh? I don't understand. And then I'll say things that happen, like when we're on like our trips, and she's like, "Okay." I don't think she believes me.
She thinks you're making it up.
I think she
you're
thinks
trying to
I'm
make
making it up.
yourself sound cooler than you actually are.
Which I have never lied ever.
She's
her.
like, Mads, that did not happen. You are okay. Whatever you say, bro.
Have some faith in me, damn it.
Nah, you can't be. It's like that's not possibly true. You can't be that cool.
No, apparently not. Gosh.
I think you're cool, Matt.
Oh my gosh, you're like the only person, but thank you.
Probably not. There's probably at least 7 consistent listeners that also think you're cool.
7 consistent.
Shout out to the 7 of you. We love you. Unless you're Tanner, Alex, or Dakota. Okay, bye.
Imagine if that's all that we got, like every week. We'd be like, oh, nice, 7 people. So cool.
I would still, whatever. We're still just doing our thing, because
I would still do it. I would still do it.
Good.
Because honestly, like, this is so fun for me. And the fact that people are even receptive to listening to our absolute fucking bullshit just blows my mind. Like, people are going to hear it at the beginning of this episode. They're going to be like, Roblox? What the fuck even is Roblox? What is Zack and Cody 2000s games? What is any of this? Like,
and then we just go into shit talking, and they're like, and then like it's all of a sudden it's like 20 minutes in, and they're like, why am I still listening to this garbage? And then
it's so funny.
And then we're like, we don't know why you're listening to this garbage either, but we're gonna keep putting it out there because why not?
Shit. Oh, it's so funny because like when we first started this podcast, we were like, this is going to be mostly about Project Fear and us and Project Fear, should I say? Because it's more about us than it ever was about them.
For sure.
But it's funny how like now it's turned into like slightly some paranormal, a lot of life stuff, a lot of random comedic bullshit. Like, I love that it's everything in just one bubble.
Yeah.
And then we say we're a Project Fear paranormal podcast, but we're really not just that. Like, you just can't even classify what we are.
I don't know what we are. We're Bergen Mads. That's what we fucking are. We are the Fear Babes. We're the Fear Babes.
Hell yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, so anyways, to the 7 listeners that are consistent, doing this podcast with you, Mads, it's food for my soul. So even if we only got 7 listeners a week, even if we only got fucking 1 listener a week, I'd still do this with you.
Oh, 100%. Me too. I would do it too. It's so fun.
Us. And if you enjoy us, thank you. You're psycho, but thank you. Just kidding. I love you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Baby,
you're the best.
Come back.
Thanks for supporting us. As always.
Oh.
Sorry, I just had to cry a little.
It's okay. I kiss it, make it better. Mwah.
Oh my god. I just got kissed by Burgundy.
Yay.
I'm so honored. How many of you guys can say you've been kissed by Burgundy? None of you. Only
None
me,
of you.
So.
Only Matt.
And maybe one other person. I'm just kidding. No, absolutely nobody.
One other person wishes, perhaps. Who is it? The world may never know. How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? Let's find out. See? 1 or 2.
Apparently just 2.
What?
What even? On? I don't know. I have no idea. Should we try to spook ourselves out a little bit?
Wait, hold on. One other thing I was going to say before we get into reading these. I have been extremely emotional the last couple of days. Like, why? I'm just kidding. I know why. So hopefully none of these are going to make me fucking cry, bro. Like, just... oh my god, that poor demon. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, hell no.
Like, I was reading my Mother's Day gift because it came today, so I was looking at it before I give it to her tomorrow, and started crying. I was like, what is wrong with me?
Oh, it's so cute. I
was like, I don't know what's going on.
Okay, here we go. So, last week when we left off, we were going through our Twitter DMs. So our next story from Twitter is from Lisa. Shout out Lisa. We love Lisa. She's the best. Her Twitter handle is Lisa Despain, DESPAIN. All just one word. And here is her story. At my house in Wisconsin, we lived with the old couple who had built it 100 years ago. They actually saved my life one night. My ex-husband was in Brazil for work, and I was alone in the house. I heard something slam into the wall on the back side of the house and started outside to see what the hell it was. As I headed to the door, it felt like I walked into an invisible wall. I heard a second slam in another part of the wall and felt hands brush my waist. A voice in my ear said, "Call the police." Ooh, chills. Ugh. The house phone was on the counter, even though I didn't remember leaving it there. I reached for it just as someone started knocking on the window. My sweet puppy was barking and snarling, but stopped, tail wagging as though she was being petted. The police showed up and checked outside. There were footprints in the snow and marks on the house where snowballs had hit it. Whoever did it was gone. Later, I heard that an old lady was attacked 2 streets over. Oh, gosh. Poor old lady. Had it not been for my roommates, that would have been me. So that was the end of that story.
That's wild, dude.
Holy shit. That, ooh, when she said, call the police, like she heard a voice say, "Call the police," that gave me like chills on my arm. That's so spooky.
That is spooky.
Anything that you wanted to say before we move on?
No, I have chills, so. Oh, hold on. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, what is barking at? Oh my gosh, I heard like 4 loud bangs last night in our neighborhood. It was like 10 o'clock or so. I'll have to send you the video from my front door camera because it was like, it wasn't fireworks. I don't entirely think it was guns either, though, but it was just weird.
Oh, that's spooky.
And then the cops, like 15 minutes later, like one goes speeding past my house, but he didn't have his lights on. And then another one just like crept by so slowly.
Ew.
I was
that's
like, what
weird.
is going on? It kind of, it gave me like weird vibes.
Well, see, stuff like that, like around here where I live near a lot of open fields. And I know that it's not deer season, but there's other hunting seasons going on right now. And we hear gunshots a lot. And a lot of times we'll also hear tannerite blow up. And it's the scariest fucking sound. Have you ever heard tannerite?
Not that I know of.
It sounds like a fucking bomb. It is so scary that like, when you hear it, and let's just say that it's just quiet in your house and you're just having a nice day, and all of a sudden you hear boom.
It's so wild,
like,
dude.
It shakes the house.
Yeah.
And what it is they're trying to keep deer out of the fields to stop eating their shit.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah. Anyway,
we do have one of the high schools here. They have a cannon and they will shoot it off sometimes at football games, but that's like not the like season for that right now.
Yeah.
And also it was like it sounded way louder than it should have if that was what was the sound.
That's really odd.
Yeah, because like the high school's in the middle of town and I'm like far west of town, so it was like that was because my mom was like, "Was it the cannon from Natrona County High School?" And I was like, "No, definitely not."
Ew.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yikes.
Sorry, sidetracked.
All I'm gonna say is that kind of stuff, like if something actually serious were to happen, I probably wouldn't know. I'd be like, "Oh, it's just tannerite."
Yeah, that's
be like, okay, because nothing happens because we hear gunshots all the time in tannerite. So
yeah,
how are we supposed to know when
it's just another day?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, okay. So here's her second story. Since we're talking about the South, we're about to go down south. Y'all. When I turned 10, we lived in a rental house in Georgia. I felt very weird from the first day. I would see shadows everywhere and could see a male figure in the basement. Holy shit, what a crazy opening sentence. All right, let's see. Many nights I would wake up with a shadow figure leaning over my bed staring at me.
A couple of times. Your fucking house.
Right, yeah, no, I'm out. I'm out. A couple of times I opened my eyes from washing my face in the shower to see a man's face inches from my own. Holy fuck.
No, ma'am. All right.
Pause. We're in the middle of this.
No, ma'am.
That is one of my biggest fears. I only just recently, in the last couple of years since I've been in this house, have I felt comfortable enough to close my eyes in the shower. if I ever opened my eyes and saw a man's face or any face inches from my own, I would fucking, I don't know what I would do. I don't know.
I'd probably just pass out, to be honest.
Probably because that's scary as shit.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Either that or I'd be punched in the air. Because obviously nobody's actually there, but...
Could you imagine? I would be doing that too, just like fucking fighting.
You remember when we talked to Tanner and he talked about like punching ghosts? That'd be me. I'd be that person.
100%. Because like a natural, like habitual instinct is just to fight.
Yeah.
Like when
fight or flight, bro. Which one's gonna
you see intruder? You see intruder, you're like, boom, I'm gonna fight immediately. Just like
karate chop your ass.
Like, you know how like white people in horror movies, like they just don't really fight. They don't put up much of a fight. I would not be that person. Like I would dead ass. I would fight. Like I would try anything and everything I could. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm sorry, that just freaked me out.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
Ooh.
No way, dude. I
No.
don't know. I don't know what I would do, but there's no way.
No way. Then she goes on to say, he pushed me down the stairs a few times, so I would sit outside in the cold to wait for someone to get home rather than be alone in that house. I could hear whispering everywhere, but couldn't make out what they were saying. My parents accused me of having a vivid imagination and didn't believe in the evil presence. Over time, we moved, and I started to believe that I had imagined it, until I was looking through old pictures and came across pics of my 10th birthday party.
Oh no, I don't like where this is going.
I know! One shows a bunch of little girls dancing, a typical happy party, except for the dark figure dancing behind them.
No!
Dude, Lisa, like...
First of all, can we see your photo? Can you send it to us?
I would love to see that photo if you have access to it at this point, because
I'm scared.
That shit is wild. And I love looking at pictures with like stuff like that in them. It's just very fascinating to me. So I would love to see that. But she also had one more note and she said, love the show. You babes are amazing.
Oh, you. No, you're amazing, Lisa.
Thank you. Lisa.
We love you.
Literally the best. You are the best. But that story is fucking wild.
Yeah. I know. I have goosebumps.
Two very intense stories. So thank you for sharing those with us.
That's crazy. I don't even know what to say because I just don't like.
Me neither.
I'm trying to like if that was me, what would I do? I don't know. Who knows? I don't fucking
Shit
know.
myself probably.
Right? At least for one of the stories, you'd be in the shower, so easy cleanup. But
do that waffle stomp.
What?
Have you heard about that traumatic ass shit?
No.
A fucking waffle stomp in the shower.
Wobble stomp. No, I have. What are you talking about? Now
a waffle stomp. No, I found out completely.
How and why?
Not by my own accord. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I don't want to get too into it because it's absolutely fucking revolting.
You just tell me.
Anyway,
you tell me offline.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Continue the podcast and we'll talk about.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna text you while you're reading Amber's story.
Oh gosh. Okay. Is it gonna be like a Fear Babes After Dark type of scenario? No, I'm just kidding.
No, absolutely not.
Mads, I feel like you sound so very podcast voicey today, and I'm like low-key upset that I don't because my nose is like.
It is what it is.
I'm like, I mean, not that I ever do. Like you're the one with the perfect podcast voice, but still, I'm just like, thanks a lot, voice, whatever.
Oh my god, thank you.
Oh my god, you're famous.
Oh my god.
And it's not even, I'm even more pissed because it's not even like a sexy sickness voice. It's just like, bleh, like I sound probably like Squidward or some shit.
No, you actually sound a lot better than I thought that you would because you sound almost entirely completely normal. So
I think when we started, it was bad, but like the more I talked, just the better it got.
Yeah, it definitely has.
I mean, I live by myself and I don't talk to nobody all day. So it's like, don't use your voice for a couple hours and all of a sudden you're like, hello? This is like super raspy. You're like, oh, we gotta dust off the cobwebs from your vocal cords for a second.
Hello?
Anyways, here's Amber's story. Amber's Twitter handle is BelleAmber1993. So Amber's story. Since I was about 4 years old, there has been this little girl, Wendy, following me and being with me basically the last 26 years. I'm 30 years old now. Anyways, on my 8th birthday, I tried inviting her to my birthday party and she told me I will be there, but you will be the only one who can see me. And I said, why? She promised me she would tell them and show me after my birthday as to not ruin my birthday. Well, a couple of days after, she appeared to me covered in blood head to toe, and her skull was crushed. One day, when she was out playing in a field, this was in 1894, her father was out working in the field, and her father didn't know she was out there. When he started plowing, an ox stomped on her head, and she was crushed instantly. The field that she died in was in my backyard. I went to the library to confirm this the next day, and the story is true. Wendy disappeared from my life on September 25th, 2023, and told me she will become my daughter and she wants me to be her mom. I had my daughter September 27th, 2023, and I haven't seen or heard from Wendy since the 25th of September.
That is so creepy. But it's also like really fascinating.
It is.
Yeah.
The way that the timeline played out at the end.
Yeah.
Like she said that Wendy left her and said she wanted to be her, she was going to be her daughter. And then she had her daughter 2 days later and hasn't heard from the spirit since.
That's so interesting to me. But I love that story at the same time. Like, imagine having something your entire life and then one day they just disappear and they end up becoming like a physical form to you rather than one that's just an attachment of a sort. Like, that's actually really, really sweet.
It is. Amber, I'm curious, do you feel that Wendy, if her soul, like, is a part of your daughter? I don't know if that's a weird question or not. I apologize if it is.
I don't think it's weird.
If you feel so inclined to tell us, send us a DM, because I'm curious.
Yeah, I am curious as well. Thank you for sharing, Amber.
Yes, thank you.
So now on to our next story. The story is from Sylvia. Her @ is Sylvia Charlie with 2 I's at the end and then an E. So this is her story. In 2009, a few days before my dad passed away from cancer, we were both at home and he was lying down in bed. When I went to the bathroom and passed by his room, I saw a shadow figure. It was a man, standing between the window and his bed, just looking at him. I went back, but it disappeared. I tried to recreate my steps a few times to see if it was some lamp shadow or anything like that, but it wasn't. So I let it go. The next night, the same thing happened, but this time the shadow figure was bent over my dad. Again, it disappeared. To this day, I believe it was his brother who passed away in his 20s and was just waiting for him. It gave me a sense of peace. My dad passed away a few days later, and she said, this is one of the ghost stories I have that I hold really close to my heart.
Oh,
I think that that's really moving, especially when it comes to a family member passing. It's very difficult for sure. And I thank you for being vulnerable enough to share that story with us, because honestly, it's just one of those things that can make somebody, I mean, it's very emotional. It's very raw and real. And it reminds me a lot of the stories that I have had where, and a lot of people have had that I have heard of, where family members will come back to visit a person right before they pass, kind of like they're waiting on them, like they're greeting them or they're taking them with them to heaven. And I've had that instance in my own personal life. I've seen that with my great grandma on my dad's side. Right before she passed, she said that she could see her sister. And I believe she also said her mother. And that within itself is just one of those things where it's like, I mean, she was in hospice, so obviously, it's like the end, but it's one of those feelings where it's like, oh my gosh, like not everybody believes in that, but for something to happen so frequently and like stories like that to happen so often, that we as the living carry for those of us or for our family members or friends or whoever we're witnessing on their deathbed and seeing them experience these things. We get to carry these stories and tell them. And for it to be so common for us to hear of people seeing their own family members before they pass, it's just one of those things where I can't explain it, but it's one of those things I feel as though I can't deny it either.
Yeah.
Because I know that my great grandma, who is like my mother, she had also, when my mom had gone to visit her, she thought she saw somebody standing behind my mom. And she's like, Wendy, what is that? And my mom turned and she's like, what is what? She said, isn't there somebody behind you? They look shiny or something. And my mom was like, Grandma, there's nobody here. And she was like, oh, well, maybe I'm just seeing things. But guess what? She ended up passing like 2 or 3 weeks later.
Oh.
It happens so often, dude, like with so many people.
Well,
but the fact that she got to witness it herself rather than just, hearing it. Yeah. It's very cool.
My mom was there when my grandma passed away, and she said that she saw she watched my grandma's soul leave her body, like float up through the ceiling.
It's such a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? It's so emotional.
Yeah.
It's so emotional.
Don't worry, guys, I'm not crying yet.
It may sound like we are, but we're not. But it definitely is a tender spot in my heart for sure. And I know that probably had to be difficult to share. So I'm grateful that Sylvia was willing to do that for us. So
yeah,
thank you.
Quite the story that you have there, Sylvia. That's super cool. Okay. So the next story is brought to us by Glesney. Her @ is Glesney OT student.
Hi, Glesney.
Hi, Glesney. Okay. She said, hi, ladies. Seen your post about sharing ghost stories, and I have one that sticks with me to this day. I was working at a restaurant a few years ago, and I was cleaning up a table that had just left. There were only 2 couples in that were far away from each other as they were in 2 separate areas of the restaurant. It was really quiet, and whilst I was looking down, I heard a clear and loud male voice say, excuse me. That sounded like it was right in front of me. I looked up expecting to see someone, and there was nobody in front of me. I had goosebumps. I looked around at both couples. One man was literally eating a burger, and the other one looking at the same direction to where I heard the voice. I said, oh, sorry, was that you? Did you say something? He replied, no, I didn't say anything. I said, oh, I thought I heard someone say, excuse me. He replied, I heard that too. We just laughed it off, and I carried on with my shift, but I felt quite uneasy the rest of the night. It was time to lock up, and I couldn't get the voice out of my head. Everything was pretty much done, and all that was left to do was to turn off the lights. I turned them off, and I was in complete darkness, where I then heard what I thought was a chair scraping against the hardwood floor in the restaurant. I froze for a bit and just stood there in silence, as I noticed my heart just began to race. I stood there for a few seconds and heard really faint footsteps in the same area I heard the chair move. I immediately felt uneasy and unsafe and just wanted to leave. I packed up and locked things up so quickly and headed straight home, feeling absolutely terrified but also confused. Despite this experience, it never happened again after that. I've rambled on too much, never had anything major happen. This one just made me really uneasy. Thank you for reading my story. Keep going with the podcast. Thank you for sharing with us, Glesney. Jesus, I'm having a hard time today, sorry. Thank you for sharing with us, Glesney. That is quite the interesting story. I don't know what I would have done if I was you either. Definitely see how she feels uneasy though after that.
Yeah, most definitely. Because I mean, there's just something so unsettling about like hearing a voice. But the fact that it wasn't just her who heard the voice,
the other guy,
there was a man.
Yeah,
he heard the voice as well. So she wasn't hearing things.
So but her experience was validated by somebody else.
Yeah.
While not knowing what's happening.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I can't say that it's rare, but you know how sometimes I know that when I hear things, other people definitely don't. So it's pretty cool that she kind of had validation in that moment.
Yeah.
But Yeah, as if I were pretty much by myself and I was cleaning and I heard shit moving around, I'd been like, yeah, outie, bitch.
Right.
Outie. I'm leaving. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm not doing it. I'm not. So I would have done the same. But yeah, so thank you, Gillespie, for sharing your story. It was really spoopy.
Super spoopy. Matt, what are those little squares? Were those supposed to be emojis?
Yeah.
Dang it. I love when the emojis stay.
I know, me too.
It makes it better. That's okay though.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
All right. So, our next story is from Nick, and his at on Twitter is NIK Spooner, SPOONER. Here is his story. My ghost story. I lived in a place called Tony Raphael. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, hopefully. He said in parentheses, sounds like Tony Raphael. So hopefully I'm correct. But if I butchered that, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just love that he just spelled it exactly the same.
I know.
It's like
funny.
my dude. Hopefully we're getting that right for you.
I hope we did. He's anyway. I moved in with my then girlfriend, who is now my wife. We rented a 3-bedroom house in late spring coming into summer, so the house is a typical miner's house for that area. One day in the summer, we went to Porthcawl for the day with a friend. So we had a bacon sandwich before going out, and we got back in late at night, and in the kitchen, the cooker gas ring was on. Now we grilled the bacon, so we thought that was odd. We turned it off and thought no more of it. I was a sales rep and spent a lot of my week away, so my wife was on her own with our kitten. Oh, the little kitten. She would come in from work and would find the gas ring on, but one day the oven was on. Now things started to get strange. Gas bill comes in July, and what should be cheap at the height of summer was very expensive. The freakiest part of this was one night we're both sitting on the sofa watching the TV and the door to the living room is shut. The door is a knob that turns, not a handle. All of a sudden, the doorknob turns back and forth quickly as if someone is trying to get in. It then stops and we hear loud footsteps run up the stairs. Me being me, I open the door, look up the stairs, and there's no one there. I open the front at the end of the hallway, go outside, and look up the path at the side of my house and see some kids on their bikes. I shout at them and ask if they've been in my house and ran up my stairs. They said no and looked at me as if I was mad. Now the front door is a lock that you have to turn to open the door, but it's only on the inside. You can't open the door from the outside without a key. We moved out not long after. Now my wife's previous house where she lived was a funeral home, and loads of stuff used to happen to all 3 lodgers in that house. Plus friends would see colored orbs moving through the house, all in front of witnesses. We wondered if something moved with her. She has a gift herself where she can read your future by looking at you in your palm, but she has to be loose to do it, so her guard is down. When we go out for a drink, that is when it kicks in. Happy to share. Love the podcast.
Wow.
So that is freaking insane, first of all.
Crazy.
One of my biggest fears, and this isn't necessarily paranormal, but it's just more of like, I have anxiety. I've always had this anxiety, but I had this one instance last year where my dryer caught on fire inside of itself. And what had happened was the dryer was really, really old, and it must have had like a lint buildup, and I heard it ignite after I had put a load in there, and it literally caught on fire, like it was smoking everything. And thank God my brother and Sierra's husband was here. But prior to that, I've always had a fear of like the oven being on, the dryer catching on fire, like something completely random and unexplainable, or like just something to that caliber of like a gas ring being left on, like
Yeah.
something like that. I've always had a fear of that. So the fact that you came home and the gas ring was on, just paranormal or not, I would have been like, oh my gosh, like
Peak
what the hell,
bro? Yeah.
Yeah.
Same, because I'm like, every time I leave my house, I'll get down to the end of the street and I'm like, oh my gosh, what if my house just catches on fire because I'm a dumbass and I left something on? And it could be
Literally.
like, it's like I haven't used the oven or the stove in 2 fucking days and I'm like, did I leave the oven on?
Yeah. Same. And of course, my first thoughts are my animals and like,
Yeah.
it just, it scares me, but that is freaky as hell. But the doorknob shaking and all that other stuff and the running up the stairs,
Yeah.
that within itself, I would have shit my pants.
Wild.
Like, what even is that? Why is this even happening? Like, clearly it sounds to me like something just wanted to fuck with you.
Yeah. Just like a little prankster spirit.
Those are the biggest menaces.
Yeah, is that what you meant by that?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay, so for our last story, it is brought to us by Miss Brenda. I'm pretty sure that the majority of the Fear fam knows who Brenda is.
Brenda!
Sent it to us on Facebook. Okay, so she said, "Hi y'all, thanks for agreeing to listen to my experiences, and I honestly have so many I will narrow it down to 3, maybe 4. I don't know if I am a spirit magnet, but since childhood I've had a lot of paranormal experiences. The one apartment I grew up in was massive haunted. There was a demonic entity, oh my gosh, a poltergeist, and several spirits. One night, a spool of thread came off Mom's sewing table, went onto the floor, and spun around in a circle for about a minute." What the fuck? Sorry, this is my own commentary. Scared the living daylights out of me. No shit, Brenda, I'd be scared too. One night, I woke up and directly above my head was what looked like a demonic shadow figure. It was a cloak with red eyes, and the cloak was so real looking that you felt like you could touch it. I screamed for quite a bit, and it took a while to calm me down. 2 nights later, in the middle of the night, something pressed hard on the back of my neck. It felt like it was trying to choke me. I also went through having things lay on me, and I couldn't move and sometimes couldn't breathe.
Hell no, dude. Holy shit.
Brenda, what the fuck? Okay, that's just the first part. Like, she has more, guys. Hold on. Okay. Now I will fast forward it to a duplex where I lived in Columbia, South Carolina back in 1985. I slept in the upstairs bedroom, and one night I was wide awake. I heard footsteps coming up the stairs when walking across my bedroom floor. Wait, sorry. I heard footsteps coming up the stairs, then walking across. Oh my god. I said stores.
Coming up the stores.
Fuck me, dude. Okay.
I heard footsteps coming up the stores.
I heard them. They came up the stores. Do you ever hear the footsteps coming up the store? Jesus. We might just leave that for comedic relief. Who knows? Who fucking cares? Not me anymore. I can't hear myself talking because I'm so stuffed up. I'm like, what's going on? Okay. I heard footsteps coming up the stairs, then walking across my bedroom floor, which was wooden, and I felt someone sit on my bed. I jumped up, ran over, and turned on the light, and no one was there.
Oh, shit.
Brenda, what?
That's too close to home for me. Fuck that.
We'll get there in a second. Hold on, she's got a little bit more for us here. Now fast forward it to 1990. I was living in an apartment and I woke up in the middle of the night, and in the doorway of my bedroom stood an old man I had seen in my teen years. I called him the Grinning Man. I couldn't go to sleep the rest of the night, and the next day I had someone come over and bless my apartment because it freaked me out to see a spirit that I had seen from one of the most haunted places I've ever lived in. And the most recent happened a few years ago when I was in my bedroom and I clearly heard my husband call my name. I came out and he hadn't called my name, but I heard it clear, and I woke up one night 12 years ago and something was holding my hand. Anyways, these are just a few. I've had way too many to count. Thanks for listening and making the offer to share my paranormal experiences. Heart emoji.
Aw, well, thank you for letting us share it, actually. Yeah.
Thank you, Brenda. Your stories are, like, how do you do it? Like, how? Like, girl.
See, I would have. Okay, so the first one would have definitely made me uncomfortable as hell, honestly. A cloak with red eyes, and the cloak was so real looking that you felt like you could touch it.
That's one of the
Bye.
fears that I have is like when you're going to sleep and you're like you have your eyes closed and you're almost like to the point of falling asleep. I always have this fear that if I opened my eyes, something would be like right in front of my face.
Me too.
Something like that.
That has been my biggest fear for the longest time. Do you
Yeah.
remember the TV show, which you can actually watch on YouTube now, believe it or not? It's called A Haunting.
Yes.
It was on in like the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah,
And
I
it
used
was
to watch
like,
it all the time, and I would freak myself out because I was too young to be watching that shit.
same. Dude, I like literally, I remember being like 8 years old. And like, of course, I didn't talk about this shit with my mom because back then, when you were 8 years old, you could be home by yourself. That's just how it was. That's just what it was. I got home from school, from elementary school, and I would come home and me and my brother Samuel would watch A Haunting. And we would literally scare ourselves shitless, but we would never tell our parents about it.
Yeah, and then you'd have like dreams about the reenactments they did on the TV. Yeah,
Yes. Literally. And to this day, like I told my mom, I said, go to YouTube because I want to watch A Haunting. And she was like, what is that? And I was like, I used to watch this all the time as a kid. And she's like, you what? And I was like, yeah. And he has like the narrator has the creepiest deep voice ever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Highly recommend.
There's like two that stick in my head. Sometimes I just randomly think about. Like there was one that had like a little girl, but like I remember in the reenactment, like it was like a dark house, and then she was glowing like this like eerie blue color, you know, and like you would see her light under the door before she would like start haunting them. So that used to freak me out. And then I remember there was one about a horse in a stable, and the horse like was freaked out because a ghost came into the stable, and the lady was like trying to just like calm him down or whatever, and he like jumped and like ran out of the barn.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know why I remember those two, but those two like freaked me out for some reason.
There was definitely a couple. There was some that were just like harmless spirits, and then there were some that were like demonic.
It was super creepy, yeah.
Those were the ones that scared me the most.
Yeah,
and I will never forget, because, you know, I've told you this where if I was alone or like it was nighttime, like I could hear things. So one afternoon, I don't know where Samuel was. No idea. But I was home alone in my house, and my dad had come home early. Mind you, I did not know he was home. I did not know that he was going to come home early. I had no idea. And I was watching A Haunting in my room. And all of a sudden, like, and we had a garage door. So this man had to go through the garage door. I did not hear the garage door open. None of that. But I heard footsteps, and it sounded like he was walking really slow. Burgundy. I literally almost pissed myself. I literally almost pissed myself.
Okay.
I was scared.
Do you want to know a story about how much of a dick Dawn is?
Dawn? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I know, of all people, my dad being a dick. What? Never. Who said that? What? My mom's gonna piss herself laughing when she hears this. I guarantee you, I will get a text that says, "Oh my dude, I had to pause the podcast because I was snorting from laughing," and I guarantee you now she's gonna text me something about me being right about what she was gonna tell me that in her text. But anyways, I digress. So you know those movies. What are they called? Oh my gosh, I just had it in my head too. The paranormal series. There was like 4 of them. What were they called? Paranormal Activity.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yes.
So those came out when I was like in middle school, right? And so I don't know why, but I was like wanting to see them so bad. But every time I would watch one, it would freak me out so bad. So it was like the second or third one had come out, and I had a friend staying the night at our house, and we had this little like game room area thing where all those kids would like hang out and play the GameCube, and you know, we had sleepovers, the TV was in there, and we had a pull-out couch, so we'd sleep in there. So we had French doors in the office, and so my friend and I, we were in there, and we're watching like the second or third Paranormal Activity movie, and we're like middle schoolers, and it's like 10 p.m. probably. It's dark outside. We have all the lights off, and we're all huddled together, like freaked out. We got the blankets like up to our eyeballs, like watching this movie. And we had the French doors, and one of them was open, and one of the doors starts to close while we're watching this movie. And we're like, did you see that? Like, both of us are like, oh my gosh. And we're like, no, we're like making this up. So we're both just staring at this French doors now. Because one was closed and one was open, but it was closing by itself, right? And then all of a sudden it just slams shut. And we just start screaming. And I'm calling my mom from my little LG flip phone. And I'm like, Mom, there's a fucking ghost in your house. Like,
no.
Freaking out, dude. Like, and then there's tapping on the door, and we're like, Mom, come sit. Like, she's literally like a couple 100 feet away from me, and I've called her on my cell phone, and we're like freaking out, like screaming. My brother woke up, like, like, there's a ghost in the house, Mom, come save us. Fucking Dawn had crawled down the hallway, laid on the floor, and crept his fingers underneath this French door.
Fucking Dawn, you asshole.
Shut to scare the shit out of us.
Okay, I'm gonna need Windeth West to play this part on freaking speaker, on the TV, whatever. Dawn, that was an asshole move.
Dude, my mom was trying so hard not to laugh while we're like freaking out on the phone with her, because she knew this whole fucking shit was happening. Like, of course she knew, right? She's my fucking mom. So it's like,
that's funny as fuck.
We almost pissed ourselves, Mads. We're like, I don't know what, 12, 13 years old.
Dude, okay, so your story just reminded me about when my ex-stepdad, this is when him and my mom were only dating, and I was home alone. I lived in another older house, which around these parts, we have a lot of older houses. And so this home we were renting, and it was built in 1903. And I definitely felt like a lot of like paranormal activity there, but I was home alone one night because Samuel had football practice, and usually they didn't get home until like 8 or 9 o'clock sometimes. And so I was in the kitchen, and in our kitchen at the time, it had a big open window that was only covered by some of those, like, I call them like spaghetti blinds, where they're just kind of hanging there. I hate those kind of blinds, by the way. They're ugly, they're atrocious, but they were just hanging there, but people could like see through it if they really wanted to. Berg, I kid you not, somebody knocked on the door, or like on that window, and I ran into my room because this was before Life 360. This was before any of that. So yeah. I did not know anybody was there. Nobody. It was just me, and I ran to my room. I locked my door. I thought it was either a ghost or someone was trying to break into the house. Both
yeah.
Scary as shit. It was my fucking ex-stepdad.
Just messing with you?
He walked in, he's like, you should have seen your face. And I was like, that was not fucking fun. I was so mad.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed too. Mad. And he did shit like that to me all the time. Oh my gosh, Berg.
Yeah.
It's like, how dare you?
Shitty. I know. I was like, we were so upset with Dog, dude. It's so funny. It's funny now. But like back then, I was like, we literally almost pissed ourselves. It's just like
insane. literally almost pissed. There was one time I did piss myself, but we're not getting into it.
Like, I peed myself.
I literally did. I'm not kidding.
I mean, we are females. It's like the odds are stacked against us already. Okay, you one sneeze and you're pissing yourself. So if it's a solid sneeze, you're like, sorry, it tingled a little.
Like literally, it was bad. But anyway,
so if you have a full bladder and then somebody scares like literally the piss out of you, that's just where these phrases come from. People like
people don't just make it up.
Yeah.
Or like shit themselves. Like some people do shit themselves. So
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of that. That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, so I guess that was it. Thanks everybody who shared their stories with us. Thanks for letting us go off on random tangents after your stories. Some of them relatable, some of them totally not.
Exactly. Like pissing ourselves. Anyway.
But that's why you enjoy the Fear Babes. That's why you're here. That's why you listen to us.
100%. Yeah, just one more time. Thank you guys. Duchess, I started talking in this little voice, and now she's wagging her tail. Oh, she thinks I'm gonna give her. She thinks I'm gonna give her a belly rub, but I can't reach her. You just can't. I gotta give her a pet.
Meanwhile, Diesel's outside punching this door with his paw. He's like to the freaking door. He's like, he just punts it with his little paw.
That's so funny. He's a real baby. Oh.
And then I'll go out there and Andy will be like laying in my spot on the couch, and I'm like, bitch, that's my spot. You think you're queen bee around here? It ain't you, bitch. It's me.
Literally. See, that's how Duchess is to you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I hear now.
Did you hear it? I was like,
yeah,
he's just proving my point. Hopefully the audio caught that. I'm gonna leave it out if it did.
I hope so too. But anyway.
All right, should we go play some Zach and Cody now?
Yes, and then Roblox afterwards, please.
Okay, well, I have to finish editing my part of our other podcast first, but then yeah, for sure.
Okay, yes. Okay, let's do it. Roblox.
Okay.
Roblox.
What are we doing next week, Mads? I don't know. It's to be determined. We may or may not have something planned.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. We finally hit 300 on Instagram. Woot 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 woot.
Woo,
now we just gotta hit 500 on X/Twitter, and then we'll do our giveaway.
Woo. Woo. We want to give away a whole bunch of cool, fun stuff, so you guys should definitely check it out. Also, check out our Patreon. We do almost daily updates. We post our podcast episodes early. We do an extra podcast a month called Fear Babes After Dark. We have exclusive merch on there, a lot of exclusive content, and I also, of course, want to plug our Etsy shop. Like I said last week, a lot of that stuff, once it's gone forever. So you should check it out for sure. Everything is linked below, and also in our bio on all of our platforms. The only place that our information is not linked below is on YouTube because they're assholes. So
fuck YouTube. Yeah. You can't see me right now, but I'm giving you the coolest smile I could possibly give. Just imagine it.
Yeah. She's smiling. She's giving us all her teepees. She's
cheesing.
She's cheesing, dog.
Cheesing. All right. On that note, love you. I'm gonna go try to be able to breathe again through my fucking nose. Don't take it for granted. Yeah.
And I'm going to go play Roblox.
Okay, I'll meet you there in a little while.
Yeah. All right.
Love you. Bye. Bye, babes. Bye.
Bye, babes. I'm gonna go play with my puppy. Oh. I'm dying.
R.I.P. Berg.
In the arms of an angel.